Tasha Ngube. Some people know me as Latasha Lagos, and I'll be your host this morning for this event. I see my senior in the industry, Bobby. Hi, Bobby. I'll be replacing him today. Thank you so much for the mic, Bobby. I appreciate it, and I feel your spirit guiding me. Yes, thank you so much. I would love for you guys to give yourselves a round of applause for just being here and for making the time and investment to coming out this morning and committing to the growth of our industry as we move forward. We all are aware of what AFRIFF is, but if you don't know, well, let me tell you. AFRIFF is the African International Film Festival, which is the largest and most impactful and influential film festival out of Africa, period. And this will be our 14th year in existence. Well, 15th actually, minus COVID, but we'll take it back to go forward bigger and stronger next year for the 15th. This is our 14th year. And this year, we're going to be bringing in something new into the Nigerian space, which is the AFCM, the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, which is really a first of its kind. Nothing like this has been done before. I don't know if anything like this will happen again. We look to see, because AFRIFF always sets the trends, as you know, or if you don't know now, you do. And this is basically, what, was that shade? No? No? Oh, of course not. It's just a fact. Um, what this is about, because when Madame, which is Chioma Ode, when she spoke to me about us getting the film market off the ground in November, I said to her, well, I've never been to a film market. This is true. And I know a lot of people who are in film have also not been to film markets. So what is a film market? What does that mean? What do you do? Is it just going to have your cassette tapes or your CDs or your flash drives and you're moving around and we're pricing it? Is that what? And I call on the first speaker before I ask him to come and join us on stage or join me on stage to deliver the first address. I would like to introduce him. He is a very, very, very distinguished fellow, very handsome, tall, dark, rich in the Lord. And he's well respected, very well liked, and a man of great standing in the community and at large, internationally and locally. He is none other than the Director General of the National Film and Video Censors Board, Dr. Shuaibu Hussaini. Yes, sir, please. Please come up. A round of applause, please, as he makes his way to the stage. Thank you so much, Dr. Shuaibu.
It was that rich that I was wondering. But when she qualified it as a rich in the Lord, I said, it's good to be rich in the Lord. All right. The founder of AFRIFF, the queen of them all, Chioma Ude. This is a man to know. And of course, my colleagues, my friends, very senior members of the Nollywood community, our guests, my colleagues too in the media, because you know they say once in the media, always in the media. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to stand before you today in two capacities. First, as the Director General of, and under her able leadership, AFRIFF has not only showcased African cinema to the world, but also built bridges for talent development, international partnership, and industry discourse. With AFRIFF Content Market and industry discourse. With AFRIFF Content Market, she has envisioned and now bettered a premier platform designed to connect filmmakers with distributors, sales agents, financiers, and partners from across the world. This is no small feat, and I think she deserves not just an applause, but a standing ovation. Please, I beg you, please, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Please, please, let's take our seats. I say that she deserves a standing ovation because with AFRIFF, she has used AFRIFF to set the pace. And today's launch is another testament to Chioma Ode's vision and determination to position Africa for global film trade. Globally, film festivals and markets are two sides of the same coin. Film festivals thrive because they are paired with markets. While festivals celebrate artistry and the arts of cinema, markets provide a commercial backbone that sustains the industry. It is at film markets that deals are struck. You don't go to a festival where you're supposed to watch films and you are carrying your films in your bag, as my dear sister mentioned, and you're looking for buyers. People just came there to watch films. So you need a market where you can strike some of these deals. It is at film markets, such as this one that is being launched, that we talk about film licensing. It is there that projects are funded. There are some of our films that are making waves globally. It's a film festival. There's one in Venice. Now, I think it premiered 2 days ago in Venice. It was at their market that they started the conversation for that film. It's there that you strike co-production agreements, and then it is also there that you have distribution, networks for your films. So without the market, many of the films that we see on global screen will never have crossed borders. So film markets can therefore be likened to the arteries through which cinema circulates across culture and across the continents. The African film industry in the last decade has experienced exponential growth. Nollywood alone remains the second largest film industry by volume globally, producing thousands of titles yearly. But beyond volumes, our stories are now crossing borders with renewed visibility on global streaming platforms, at international festivals. I just talked about Venice. I just talked about, there's Toronto. We have conquered Toronto a long time ago, and we just conquered Cannes. And I'm hoping that by next year, we will not just be in the authentic regard category, but we'll be in the main competition of Cannes. This is why, for me, the AFRIFF content market is very, very timely. The AFRIFF content market arrives to fill this gap. It arrives at a time when our ecosystem is not only ripe, but bursting with potentials. To appreciate the significance of what we are launching today, or what we are informing you about today, we can look at 3 leading global markets. The European film market in Berlin, which drives the Berlinale's commercial heartbeat, attracting over 10,000 participants annually, because it's a market. So beyond coming to watch films, people are coming there to trade from around the world. So you are going to expect a lot of traffic to AFRIFF this year. Then there is, of course, the Match the Film in Cannes, where the world's most significant film deals are struck, giving life to the global cinema economy. In fact, I recall that it was at Cannes that Queen Chioma broke the news about AFRIFF content market to us, and indeed signed an MOU with my minister. I still have that photograph. So there's also the prestigious American film market. It's coming up just this November, and it's held in LA, and it's a hub for licensing, co-production, and distribution deals with billions of dollars in contracts concluded annually. Those of us who are familiar with these platforms will agree that the EFM and the likes transform their festivals into commercial gateways, ensuring that artistic excellence translated into economic value. AFRIFF, by introducing its own content market, is aligning Africa with these proven models, anchoring Nigeria as the continent's hub for creative commerce. Indeed, with its prestige, with its credibility and track record of convening global stakeholders, AFRIFF provides the perfect, I repeat, the perfect institutional backbone. Housing this content market under AFRIFF ensures continuity, global visibility, and the attraction of serious investors who are already aligned with the festival's reputation. Although if I know Chioma Ude very well, she will have taken steps to ensure sustainability and impact of the content market. But I will make a few recommendations for sustainability and impact. The AFRIFF content market must build alliances with international markets like Cannes, AFM, and AFM to share expertise and encourage reciprocal participation. And I know she has done that with Cannes because she know they dig hole where rabbit know they. So if you see her go, if you saw her in Cannes, going about everywhere, meeting people, she had that day. So we are going to expect international distributors, marketers, international film leaders coming all the way from Cannes. So since we know the fee go Cannes go come meet us for Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, thank you. So we must build that alliance. The team must also ensure alignment with Nigeria's film policies and of course our regional cultural protocols to guarantee enabling environment for investment and trade. I look forward to a situation where the AFRIFF will grow to a level where we can dedicate our markets to countries across Africa. Maybe say this year we are celebrating Zimbabwe. This year we are celebrating Burkina Faso. Because we know so much about our industry, but we don't know much about these other industries. Just in Africa here, we can't tell what's going on. We can tell what's going on in Ghana. They are pirating our films. I'm sorry if you are from they are pirating our films. But you can't tell, for instance, what is going on in Morocco. And they have a very huge industry. I remember if not for COVID, we would have had your birthday in Morocco, You can't tell what's happening in Uganda. You can't tell what's happening in other places where we have introduced woods to. Because I hear there's Uganda wood, there's Kenyan wood, just as we have our own Nollywood. And then we also have Igala wood too. So the team must align with those protocols. And then finally, there's a dire need to build the capacities of filmmakers for investment and trade. It is not about just attending the market, but you need the skills to strike those deals. I think what AFRIFF owes us before this market in November is to organize a capacity building workshop. It's not buying and selling. It's not, I get him, RMD the inside. No, it's not, it's not I get film. I shot it with 200 million naira. There's so much involved in trading at that market. You have to build a portfolio. How many of us have something? Some of us are not even on social media, and we want to appear at auditions, or we want to blow according to our pop stars. Some of us don't even have a reel to show what we have done. Some of us have offices, but our offices are in our briefcases. Nobody can locate us and all that. So we need to build that capacity, man. I beg you, even if it is just webinar or something, let's prepare them on how to meet these international people. Otherwise, you bring somebody from Cannes, and I know your capacity to bring anybody to this country. You bring them from Cannes, they sit down and they say, where are the people selling film? You say, okay, I get him. It has done 10,000 views. That's not what it is about. There's also the need to create a hybrid marketplace with both physical and digital interfaces to connect Africa's content to the global buyers all year round. Not all of them may be able to make it here, but if we have an hybrid market, some people can deal, with the internet. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the AFRIFF content market is more than a new platform. It is a declaration that Africa is ready to move from mere content creation to a structured global content commerce. It is an affirmation that our stories deserve not only to be told, but to travel, to earn, and to transform lives. Today, we plant that seed that, if carefully handled, we grow into Africa's own Cannes, Berlin, or Santa Monica. And we must all play our part in ensuring its sustainability. We, at the National Film and Video Censors Board, are proud to be part of this journey, and I would like to reaffirm that the Honorable Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Barrister Hannatu Musa Musawa, fully supports this visionary initiative. So on behalf of the NFVCB, and in my personal capacity as a stakeholder, I always remember that this thing has tenure, that I will come back to the industry to still come and meet my people. So in my personal capacity, I congratulate AFRIFF on this bold step. So it is time for our stories not only to be told, but to travel, to earn money, because that's the ultimate, and to transform lives. Thank you for your attention.
Looking for where and how to mention your story to welcome.
I know we can do better than that. Can we give the DG a rousing round of applause? Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. DG. Thank you. That was amazing. Very, very well delivered speech. I took away quite a few things that you said. Chiefly, how they go, they still come back. I love that. But your humility, of course, is very inspiring. Thank you again, sir, for that. I would just like to say that what we're doing here with AFRIFF is really monumental. And it needs to be, the word needs to go around, not for AFRIFF's sake, but for the industry's sake. Everyone in the industry obviously cannot be in a 120 capacity room, but you need to tell someone that this is happening and there's a reason why. You know, there's also something you said. You talked about people blowing and talked about Nollywood being the second largest movie, churn out system in the world. And that is amazing for sure. But the question is, why doesn't it translate? Where are the mansions? I read Jennifer Aniston bought $16 million home here. And Oshojniga bought $42 million home here. This person sold $500 million. I mean, I know Bovie has a, yeah, but there's only one Bovie, right? We need more. Come on, round of applause for Bovie's mansions, please. Bobby, I'm loving this. I need to do this more while you're in the audience. I really do. Yeah, but the truth, what I'm trying to say is Nollywood needs to level up. I need to see our stars doing things that are larger than life, and not just for the gram, not just for social, but in actual impact, in like real naira and kobo, dollars and pounds, whatever currency that floats your boat. And this is how we're going to get there, doing real business deals. We've been talking about the business of film for so long, that phrase, but this is the real business of film. This is how we're going to get there, making real business deals, striking things that are going to move the culture forward, but also increase the zeros in your bank account. And so, we have Madame Colette here from Accelerate TV. A round of applause for her, who is an absolute visionary in terms of just empowering creatives, putting money in their pocket, and helping to build those connections that have taken them from here to there. And we need more people like this. But enough talking from me. I'm going to introduce the next entry on our program for this morning. And I believe that is a video. Mr. Victor, are we ready? Yeah? Okay. So what you're about to watch is a pre-recorded video presentation from Dennis Rowe. Dennis Rowe is a film and media industry director, former festival former director of the European Film Market, also at Berlin International Film Festival, Berlinale, a professional with an outstanding knowledge of the national and international film space, streaming and TV industry. He's also our consulting director for the film, for AFCM, and he's going to just, in his video, share a couple of insights around the crucial role of international film markets and festivals in the film value chain. He will be highlighting the key participant groups that engage with market platforms and outline the opportunities available to them. This session will also provide practical advice on preparing for the market participation and maximizing its benefits. So I advise you, if you're an EFICO like me, have your notebook and pen, use your tab, use your phones, take some keynotes, because he has some very, very
category because it will focus on presenting films from the African continent. Which have exhibitors, companies exhibiting on site. We also have another category here of co-production or project markets. So it's often that co-production markets are sub-markets within international film markets. For example, the Berlinale co-production market is a market within the European film market. And also the Red Sea Souk project market is the co-production part of the Red Sea Souk, of course, of the Red Sea. In those co-production markets, it's not about exhibiting, because we don't have yet a full film to exhibit, because those are the projects which are pitched at co-production markets on a stage. There are usually a lot of one-on-one meetings organized to find partners, to find also future distributors investing. Of the festival. Yeah, it's really the place where everything is about doing business, it's about exhibiting, it's about presenting projects, it's about promoting projects, it's about promoting films, it's about promoting also services. So that's really the place where all the business related activities are going on within that marketplace for international distribution rights, but really being those meeting places, it gives film markets a place in the film value chain. And that directly leads to the next chapter, to the chapter of the market participants and their interactions at the marketplace. Directors, for example, But usually the interaction is much more on the film market. In the center of the international film market, so it really depends on your specific business, and also who could be helpful out of these different stakeholder groups to move your project forward, to move your business forward. And therefore, it's also important to plan the meetings beforehand and to check also the market infrastructure, the digital infrastructure, who is attending the market, and really to see and to reach out to those people beforehand to arrange meetings. But it's not only about arranging meetings. If you have your meeting scheduled, you should have also your material arranged. Yeah, what material do you have? What can you all present? Also important to plan enough time for the follow-up work, to reach afterwards in person or a digital meeting. Which is usually offered to market within the participants' guide, also professionally, also at an early stage, yeah, that people have a professional impression of your participation in the market, and that people also make really use of this offer, because the digital presence at a market range, meaningful meetings, sustainable means for you attend the market, and yeah, just look how your pitch is, because usually you don't have so much time in meetings, people are busy, so you need to should be not too long, not too much, so prepare promo material which can be processed in a short. And then you should also have the material on hand once you go into the meetings, as it's all prepared. You can work with QR codes, with flyer form, with the product. So this is really an innovation for producers, or for writers also sometimes, because there are writers' pitches. Markets are working differently as the regular markets, because the regular markets are usually offering space in the cinema, which a sales agent can book to present a finished show, a finished film. But at the co-production market, it's really much more like at the festival, that they call for projects which are submitted then to the market line, to submit by the deadline, because usually are given by the market organizers. And I'm available now for any question.
Looking for where and how.
The Q&A now with Dennis. Okay, not yet. All right. I want to, because we've promised you guys really that we'll be out of here by 1, and we're trying to make that happen. I know it's very rare that we have these things and it's in and out, but very informative. So the next agenda on the program today will be the panel discussion, and it will be the only panel discussion today, because this is not talk. It's action and results. So I'm going to be introducing this panel, which comprises of a variety of industry professionals who have participated in and benefited from film and television markets. To moderate, I'm going to be inviting Mr. Victor Okai. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Professor, His Lordship, His Lordship, Mr. Victor Okai, who is a... Mr. Victor, let me introduce you properly, please. He's a producer, scriptwriter, director, cinematographer. Please be clapping. It's not easy. Fixer, freelance journalist, and logistics provider for major international film companies and TV networks, including BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN, and etc., as well as the co-founder and past president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause. The next person on the panel would be Enyi Omerua. Enyi, where is he? Oh, right here. Shout out. Enyi is a creative producer and entrepreneur, recognized for building innovative platforms that showcase African talent to international audiences. He has spearheaded productions and partnerships across film, television, and live events, advancing the visibility of African stories worldwide. A round of applause for Enyi again. Thank you. Next up, we have the only female on the panel today, who is also namesakes with our fearless leader. We have Chioma Onyewe, who is a filmmaker and founder of Raconteur Productions, whose work include 8 Bars and a Clef, Imego, and the award-winning I Do Not Come to You by Chance, which has premiered at major international festivals and spotlighted African narratives on global stages. Chioma, shout out, round of applause for her. And next we have Mr. Victor Okpala, who is an ace director, producer and CEO, Dope 7 Media, one of Nigeria's foremost TV and film production companies, with numerous films, series, and cinema films to his credit, as well as multiple award nominations across Africa, including the AMVCA. Finally, this one, maybe he might even be my favorite on this panel. I love him because he never likes these things. He hates to be on the spotlight. He hates the hot seat. I'm making him supremely comfortable right now, and I'm loving it. He's a screenwriter, director, showrunner, and producer for film and TV, as well as head of production, West Africa MultiChoice Group. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Victor Sanchez Agaoa. I would also like to say, since Nigeria is in the spirit of Guinness Book of Records and things, this might be the first panel with the highest amount of victors ever in the world. So we're breaking a record today as well, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the panel to talk about AFCM opportunities and benefits from those who have participated and benefited. I think this ought to be a very lively discourse. I'm going to leave you guys to it now and just signal me if you need me. Over to you, Mr. Victor. Do you need the mic? What is it? Oh.
Thank you very much. The Queen, this is not an accident. You're 3 times victorious. And so I'm quite excited by what is happening here today. And it's long overdue. My favorite part in festivals, the Bernalia until recently was a place I would go to every year. And honestly, I have no business watching films. I always go to the markets. Then Groupers Bow, I think it has moved now. I don't know where it is right now because I haven't been there for a couple of years. Matthew Groupers Bow, I would stay there from morning till night. I'm collecting catalogs, I'm making connections, I'm talking to distributors. And if you find out that, and I'm just giving you a secret now, if you find that I'm so well connected, it is because of the market. It's the reason why you go to so many countries. I found people who go, and when they go there, they not respect me for here, but when they go there, they begin to ask them, do you know Victor Okai? Now the secret be that. Because we've met over and over and over and over at that place, and we've formed a bond. And I can call people at the shortest notice, whatever I want, anywhere in the world, especially in this business, and I'll get it. Because we've met, they've been able to gauge me, Our energies have worked. We have gone for dinner, lunch, or been on, several things together. And the secret is simply the marketplace. So I have with me a distinguished panel today. And today we're going to unlock their secrets as well. The one that is closest to me, I will speak to last because for those who are Igbo here, Enyi is elephant. Am I correct?
Well, Enyi Naya.
Oh, Enyi Naya. Okay. Now, in Papa's friend, in father's. Okay. Not Enyi. Okay. So his own Enyi is different, eh? Okay. So if you're your father's favorite or your father's friend, it means it's a good one. The blessings he has poured on you. So let me start with Victor Sanchez. Tell us a bit about why. Eh? You not expect him, Abi? No worry. I go pull your leg on what today. Tell us about some of the, and I'm going to ask some questions the first round. Some of the markets you've been to and what the experience has been like.
Hi. I think when it comes to markets, mainly because I'm mostly on the TV side of things, MIPCOM, MIPTV, which they've sort of separated now, is usually my favorite. Fame Week in SA is a personal favorite of mine because it still has my favorite memory. There was this guy who was walking through the trade floor with a 24-inch portable screen.
Take the mic slightly away.
Hello, can you hear me now? This is...
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can
so there was this guy who was walking around with a 24-inch portable screen and headphones. And if you asked him any question, he'd be like, let me show you something. And then he'd mount it up and throw headphones on and force you to watch his trailer. At the end of the day, he had the most business cards. I'm not saying that's a strategy you should copy, and clearly he was more socially gifted than I am. But I'm saying use what you have to sell your product, I guess. But also it was, my major experience also is the ancillary sales. Let me explain what I mean. Not just ancillary sales, ancillary services. So it's not just, in my experience, it's not just filmmakers who get to sell films. There are other services that I use now for things like subtitling, dubbing, final mix, were people that I met at festivals. So what would happen, not festivals, film markets, because what would happen is if there's a bunch of people selling films, then what that means is there are a bunch of producers here and people who may need to dub things into foreign languages, people who need to do multi-track separation, people. So there's always that, right? I just wanted to highlight that so we don't get into the trap of thinking it's just writer, directors, and producers. So yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm not pulling our legs here, but I remember in the early days when some of our Nigerian filmmakers would come to Berlin, and I know it's sort of funny, but they will carry go bags of CDs. I've been moving around. What is this place? Potsdamer Platz. Yes, I've been going up and down. Of course, obviously, they are not registered at the market and all that, looking for how to sell their films. And, it's... and then another thing I would usually joke is that many of them are just cultural tourists. They go there and they're looking up and down. This place is fine, this place is fine. That's not what film markets are about. Today, we're going to find out a lot more. And I thank you for what you said there, because I think it'll be a waste for you to travel all the way and remain anonymous. Whatever you must do, make sure you stand out. Okay? If you have to be ridiculous to stand out so that you're memorable, do it. One of the biggest secrets I'll share with you here is if you wear red, you will never be missed in any crowd. True or true? Huh? And the more ridiculous your red is, the more they will remember you. But that's tip number one. I'll be giving you several as we move along. Victor Okpala, tell us about some of the markets you've been to and what your experience has been like.
Good morning.
or it's afternoon. Okay, so I used to be very regular with Durban Film Festival, and then the Discorp Film and TV Market in South Africa. Before COVID happened, I think they shut down and then they moved to Cote d'Ivoire. So I've not attended since after the COVID. Yeah, so when you talked about people without experience attending markets and thinking that they will sell their markets in the film festival, I used to be like that when I started out. In fact, the first one I attended in South Africa, I thought that, you know, somebody would say, copy your film or series for me in a hard drive. And then they will give me money under the table. And then I'll come back with dollars. That was the first year. And that was because I wasn't exposed to what the film and TV market is. But of course, with continuous attendance to markets, I understood what it meant. Durban, Discorp, MIP TV, MIPCOM is a place to interact with other filmmakers, meet with distributors, meet with TV stations, meet with streamers, and things like that. And the biggest deal I've ever done as a filmmaker was actually done in a film market. Not like I sold anything, but they saw me and they looked through my catalog. They wanted what I have or to represent them here in Nigeria. And all we did was exchange contacts. And when I came back, I started following up with emails, and then we started discussions on the... should I say what happened now?
Please do. Okay, talk about it now.
Okay, so I had attended Discorp South Africa 1 year. I can't remember the exact year now. And I was approached by a young person he's a Nigerian, but has lived in South Africa all his life. I didn't know who he was from the beginning, but he said he was representing iFlix Africa. I'd gone to the market, I'd paid for a table. So this is what I usually do. I pay for a table because I'm an independent producer, not like a big booth. And please, if you're an independent producer here, we also have smaller booths like that in AFCM coming up in November. So you can pay for it. Be ready with your catalog or flyers of whatever you have on the table. Get a laptop to show trailers or whatever you want to show to the buyers and or the people that will be attending. And that's what I did. I did that with Discorp for 8 years. So that particular year, he came to my table and he looked through my catalog, looked through my flyers and said, you did all this? You have all this content? I said, yes. He said, okay, introduced himself from Southwest Nigeria, but he has lived in South Africa all his life. He said he was representing a platform called iFlix Africa, and they were looking for a way to come into Nigeria. I thought he was joking because it sounded too good to be true. But he gave me his card, I came back to Nigeria, and then I started following up. Long and short, he flew into Nigeria and commissioned me to become the official aggregator for iFlix Africa, Nigeria, that is Nollywood, that year. And I can tell you that I did a deal that year, that's pre-COVID, of over $250,000 for filmmakers in Nigeria. Now, let me say this. A lot of the filmmakers we have here think that attending film market is a waste of fund and a waste of time. And I've had a lot of people say that. They rather buy expensive clothes, shoes, and whatever than pay maybe $1,000, $500, or $300 for registration to a film market, and you're a filmmaker. So I had known this years ago, and I decided to spend my money or put my money where my mouth is, and it has always paid off.
Never fails.
So that has been my experience, and I tell you, I never regretted.
Thank you very much. I agree completely. Not everybody here may know, because I'm not going to Vuvuzela. But in the same film market, years back, I got an opportunity thrown at my laps I know the first time I met Kodak boat. Do you remember that here? In Paris, in Cannes. That corporation, usually they will have a booth. They didn't have any. But that year, people were just moving up and down. I threw the only party for African filmmakers that day, and it was, at the Kodak boat. The Kodak boat is prestigious. In a yacht, yes. Kodak in West Africa and Cameroon. I got the opportunity. As a matter of fact, I don't know if John Aduloju is here. Is he in the room? No. The rep for, Ari. Ari had approached me first. Chris Richter, who was in charge of Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Kodak at the time. So when he moved over to Ari, invited me again and said, look, Kodak is on his way out, man. Come over to Ari and all that. I was busy trying to be president of Nigeria. I said, forget it. I can't say I regret it. I'm glad that a very competent person is there now. But I want to say to you, he said something, and just trying to reemphasize it, that it's not a waste of money. If you are going to pay all that transport all the way through, I don't know what the market is now. It used to be about 200 euros extra, I think, for Berlin at the time. That extra will go so much more, the mileage I will come. I just told you about iFlix. Films 7.6, I provided all the stock for it, Ali Muhammad Ali Balogun's film, I can mention quite a few others. But like I said, I don't get vuvuzela, so I don't blow trumpets. So just to re-emphasize what he's saying, it comes from markets, which is why we're here today. That's a business place. If you just go to watch films, you can sit in your house on Netflix and watch all the films you want. The market is the place. That's where your 1 naira will translate into several dollars. Okay? So, I know she has a lot of stories to tell us. Tell us about your market experiences, which markets you've attended, and yeah.
Hello, everyone. So I've attended a few markets. I think I started with MIPCOM in 2015. I went with Mr. Day, and then also AFM. But for me, at the beginning of my journey in markets, it's very overwhelming, especially when you go to this huge global markets, because everybody already has meetings. You don't know what are you really selling your one film when they're talking about projects of billions of dollars. They're talking about slates. So at the start, it was really overwhelming, especially kind of the global film markets that are not regionally curated for African projects. So I spent my time at parties. So there's always one event or the other, and of course you're looking for free food as well, because everything is expensive in Europe. So where you can find whoever is hosting something in one night, but it pays off long term, especially when you don't come prepared. You're not coming with meetings booked, so you have to go to these events, meet people, eat free food or free canapes. They don't feed you properly like they do at AFRIFF. Only give you one free
party
drink.
like the AFRIFF party.
So it's not, but it's a great way to start to form relationships. And also, I think I attended the Durban Film Markets in 2019, and sometimes I think there's also the mindset you're going to sell something, but it's also it's good to be open to what you receive, because I came on as a co-producer for The Legend of the Vagabond Queen of Lagos that premiered last year at AFRIFF and at TIFF. And that was because I saw them pitch the project at a market. So it was also they were looking for a Nigerian producer. It had a South African and US production company attached. So same thing, by going to listen to people pitching projects and all of that, I was able to kind of be part of something that is now, that has now kind of come out after all this while. So that was a great experience. And I think when you attend a market, there's a difference when you're there with a program, if you're part of the program of the market. So if you're there, you're officially in the program, you're pitching an event, you're pitching a project, because then your time is fully curated, right? They've booked all the meetings for you, you're part of, so that's a different way to experience the market, because you're fully occupied. You have meetings booked, you have pitches booked. So I've also kind of been part of that experience, and that can be really overwhelming because you're meeting so many people, they're all asking you 1,001 questions. So there's that's great for producers. So if you're applying to go to markets, if you're part of the official program of the markets or the projects, then that's also a different experience. than if you're just attending. But I think like what Dennis said at the end is just like be open, you know, like the good thing is you're there to meet people first. Don't go to, it's good to have your target, but also kind of be open to like what you will find and who you and what you would experience. And like, yeah, always kind of go for the parties.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll come back to you later. We're going to talk about, just in case I forget, you remind me, you know what I'm talking about. Not the parties now. Not the parties. Yeah, the jury thing and how to prepare and all that. So I'll come back to you on it. So, Enyina, this is what you call Nukumau, the big masquerade. We're about to unveil him. Not many may know him here. I've not encountered him before now, but the last few minutes, the last few discussions we had, my eye was like popping, and I said, wow. It's the reason I kept you till the last. So tell us about your market experiences. I think you've been to more markets than...
I have tended to sort of perambulate around, like just sort of trying to get into markets because it was a need for me to learn, because I knew what we were looking for from our part of the world was more in the business, more than just going to screenings. And like you, I don't like being in a dark room watching a film and coming out like I've missed so much. Like I think it's a fufu inside of me. Like I'm just like, so much happened outside. I'm sitting in this dark room watching a film. But I have gotten to go from the American film market where like you, I felt like I was in nursery school but at PhD class and everything was just happening around me and I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, I never felt more bush than in that sort of situation, but just there was a lot of learning and a lot of, okay, this is how people react and this is what people do. But then going to European markets like Berlin and Sirismania and Cannes and all of these other the market at Cannes, and now extending out into South America, being in Brazil. I've been at Rio 2C these past 2 years, and it's really about the network for me. It's about building relationships and connecting the dots, and sometimes going unprepared, but just going open and just being on LinkedIn and saying, hey, my name is Enyi, I'm here, does anybody want to meet me? And it feels like I'm asking for a date or something. But from there has come several deals. One is we have a book option which is out with a major American writer and a major American platform, just from meeting in one place and us talking and then someone telling me what they wanted, and I went out to go look for it. I've been raising financing for projects outside of here as well, and so it's been quite interesting getting around, and I'm very excited about what is happening here, that Chioma and her vision gets to bring this to bear. And I think it's from all that she's seen and being to where she's been and wanting to replicate that here. And I think we have a chance now to build bridges, because I understand the privilege of being able to get on a plane and go
in a market. So which means you've sat on the other side and looked at what, you know, people are looking for, or what they're looking for. Until that time, you probably had a different perception about what you think you should take to a market. So share your experience with us and what you learned from sitting on the other side.
So I sat on the jury at MECAS. It's funny, it's Spanish. I sat on the jury at MECAS. It's funny, it's Spanish. It's more Spanish countries. Then what's interesting, and even as for reading projects that are also kind of submitted to other film markets as well, is most times I think when producers pitch projects, so which is kind of goes to the project itself, you're always pitching on this. It's not just the story, like it's not just the idea. And we always feel like we have like the best idea in the world and it's the only one, and it's like, but most times I think in terms of like rating, like what projects get through or what gets money or what gets bursary, the idea is like maybe 25% of it. So you have a great story, that's great, like, you know, but there's also like what is the team, like what's the track record of the team, what have they done before? Then what's the financial feasibility? You know, like what's your financial plan? How much have you raised already? How much are you looking to raise? Like, because most people want to back something that they see getting made, you know, so, and that's really important. So it's really about like, is your budget reasonable for the project that you're doing, and you already have something in place. So it's easier to back something that already has previous backing. So I think it's always thinking about the full consideration of the project and not just like the idea or the story that is being kind of backed. And that's where I think a lot of it falls short in terms of like our pitching packages or our packages or our pitching, as well as like this full 360. So I think that's my experience as a juror.
Okay, so I think basically the takeaway from this is, here is me, myself, and I. More often than not, we don't talk about collaborations. We don't like co-productions because we want to own everything. But I'll usually say 1% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Okay? So if you are in a co-production or a team where at the end of the day they're going to make $100 million and you have only 1% of it, is it not better than doing a project of just 10,000 or 50,000? Yeah, it's like nothing, and then you go to the exhibitors here and then they take 90% of your money. Work out with people who be rude. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So I think it's important, like what you say there, go prepared to collaborate, have a project. You don't need collaterals if you have gone so far in your project and if you have a great team attached. I think that's a summary of it. If you're well prepared and you have a great team with you, you don't need a collateral. People can see the viability from the get-go, and so they're ready to buy into it. Yeah? Am I interpreting that correctly? Yeah, okay. All right then. So Victor, I love this. How do I differentiate now? There's buyer side, there's seller side. So I'm talking to the Victor on the seller side. So the iFlix experience was obviously an eye-opener for you. And I think what it really says is, like Dennis said, and by the way, please let's clap for Dennis once again. He did a brilliant, that's a whole book. What he did there is a masterclass, in everything about film markets, sincerely. He left nothing out, So you went looking for one thing, like Saul went looking for the lost ass, and then he met kingship. What kind of mindset do you think, based on your experience now, what should people, how have you, okay, you haven't been back since, okay, but now there's AFRIFF. So what kind of mindset should you be going, or would you advise anyone going to AFRIFF? What kind of mindset should they be going out with from the seller's perspective, or from someone who is going there and looking for opportunities?
Okay, thank you. I will emphasize what Choma has said. Go, be open to opportunities. You might go looking to sell, and then you find other opportunities. Just be open to what will present itself to you. Ready to embrace the process and the journey. You never know where it's going to end up. Now, like I said, when I started, let me say, like, unlike Chioma that was attending parties, I am an independent producer who believes in going to the market with a project. Now, even when I attend like a Discord, or I never, maybe one or two parties, but because I am a seller, I always have something to sell. And I look out for buyers. I look out for people who are interested in buying. That has been me from the get-go. It might not be your style, it's okay, right? But if you are going to a market, make sure you go with something to present. It might be an idea, it might be an unfinished project, it might be a finished project, it might just be you also like Enyi going to perambulate and see what is happening. It doesn't matter. But just go with something in your mind and be open to learn. And for me, right from the time I started attending and started getting deals, I made up my mind that I wasn't going to go to any market without a project. because I like to talk to people who have money to pay me. That is me. And I'm saying that has been my experience. And if you are attending AFCM, like I said, like as an independent producer, bring out money, pay for a table or a small booth meant for independent producers. Have your necessary, what is it called, catalog, flyers, laptop, to show what you have. It can be an idea, it can be an unfinished project. It can also be a finished project. It can be anything. But bring out the money, pay for it, be prepared, be open to see people, talk to people, interact with people, and then take whatever you get out of the market, go home and work with it. You never know where it will end up. So that has been my style. So I don't know how to go and just be looking, because ticket money is expensive. Yeah. And then you pay for hotel, you pay for everything out of your pocket. It's not like in Nigeria where, I mean, you are told to pay for a market or a festival $10, $100, and you're calculating, okay, $100 by 160 or 155 something, how much in Naira? So I pay to register. I fly myself to the market. I pay my hotel bills. My food, well, not necessarily food. Like Choma said, we go about looking for free food in there. Yeah. You go from booth to booth, like the big companies and countries that have money and they have free food.
I used to collect USBs and all the freebies that you have.
Yes.
Because so much of them.
Yes. It keeps you going. In fact, there was a time in, I think it was, I don't know which market again, that if we come out in the morning, there's always coffee and those finger foods, those small things. You eat it morning and afternoon, and at night you just go to bed. You didn't attend to eat. You didn't go to the market to eat. There's a reason why you are in the market. So it has been my experience, and I've enjoyed it every time I attend. Yes. And like Enyi said, I am so super happy that we are bringing this to Nigeria. And those who, independent producers or companies who have not had the opportunity to go out because of costs or whatever, you have the opportunity to see firsthand all of the companies coming from all over in AFCM. So please, it's a worthwhile venture. I will plead with you that your experience will never be the same. You will think global after attending AFCM, I assure you.
Thank you. Let me also just add something here. Chioma is not just going to parties for nothing. Those parties are very important, because from the market you get invited to the parties. Okay? It's the people you meet at the markets that invite you to the parties. The party is the informal place where, in fact, the real deals are struck, because it's less formal. You understand? You have met first in the hard place, which is, and then they're busy, giving you just a few minutes talking. And then after, I say, we're having a party this evening at so-so lounge. Can you join us? And then when you go, so look out for it. When you go to those parties, everyone is relaxed. And that's where you talk. And I beg you, do more of listening. Because while you are busy trying to pitch, maybe the person wants to come to Africa. Let me give an example, like the Kodak thing. Maybe they're looking for how to break into the industry in Africa. And you are busy saying, I won't sell. How do you want to sell? Let me also say something to you. I made a mistake. I will never make that mistake again. I got a blank check for a project that I pitched and talked about it. And I said, how much money do you need? I carry Niger mentality. They say about maybe $200,000-$300,000. The person looked at me, shake his head, okay. Guess what? If I had told him 3, 5, 10 million, I would have got that money. I was thinking, God forbid, you don't come out. That never again. Never again. You want to say something? Okay. Mike, please, Mike.
Sorry. So I'm a big proponent for the parties as a networking and a deal-making place. In one party, I met the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. That same party, I met the owner of Apple, Tim Cook. In that same party, I met the owner of Netflix, Sarandos. And we were only, in fact, for the longest time, I was the only Nigerian in that party. So when I saw one Nigerian guy in music, the way I hugged him, I was so happy. Because all the questions they were asking, it became too much. I was just the only. So you must attend those parties.
I beg you.
You must.
So,
important.
Chioma, more parties. We're going to attend parties. So a fair balance between Victor and Chioma is what I'm advocating. Do the help, but while you're doing the hard sell, please listen. Because while you're pitching something, they're probably trying to pitch something back at you. They probably want to break into your market on another level. Stop trying to sell your DVDs or your film projects. They may be wanting to do something else. Okay? Streamers and all the, that sector. The rest of us. What kind of projects? By the way, I don't know, how many of you don't know this man here? Let me see your hands up, because I won't. You mean all of you know him? All of you? All of you know him? Okay. Godfather. Is both a God and a father. Agbabola. To know this man, cool down. Keep your microphone first. That wrestling way Jacob do, hold on for legs, say, are the things you're looking out for when you go to these markets. If you do take a stand, that I'm sure you would in this market, if you have not already taken, please take one. They have. What should we be coming to you with? What would you be expecting from people who are coming to the market to talk to an Agbabola like you?
Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this really short in bullet points because I've been on both sides of the line, right? I too made a mistake as a producer. Someone gifted me a very nice pair of brand new leather shoes, and I decided that was a good time to break it out. Don't make that mistake. Comfortable shoes, you are going to be walking around for a while.
Yes.
That was a terrible mistake. I'm going to reframe something that was said earlier by almost everybody. Every conversation you have is a mini pitch.
Yes.
And the great thing about pitching is pitching works when it's authentic. Let me rephrase that. If you form, you are forming for yourself. Right? Keep it as honest and as real as possible. 3, now this is me crossing the line to the buyer side, but it applies to both sides. When you're going to a film market, remember, any market really, people don't buy because you ask them to buy. People don't buy because you have something to sell. People are buying because they have a need that they need to fill. Right? All you're doing is presenting yourself as a vessel for receiving dollars. Sorry, as a vessel.
Like that.
You're presenting yourself because you don't know if you are the answer to their problem or you are the conduit to someone who can solve that problem.
Yes.
But if you don't keep quiet long enough, right? So what it is that's why pitches are typically, or the concept of the elevator pitch, because I have sold a project in an elevator before.
Yes.
So you pitch, listen for feedback, and plug the rest, right? In terms of, and you said something as a joke, I hope it didn't go over your heads. If you are on LinkedIn asking for dates, it's one of two things. Either you've already checked who's here and you are following up on that, or you are announcing that you are there, and I assure you, you are not the only person. Which means if you didn't do your research on who you are talking to, right, after day 1 and you've walked the ground, now you know all the companies that are represented, you've picked up some cards, go back to your room after the party and do your research on who were these people that you saw, and now you know how to address them. Because you can't walk into a TV company's booth and start talking exclusively about your film. The same way I've had people walk into a film booth trying to sell a series. And when they ask you, okay, cool, do you have anything else? You spend the next 5 minutes saying, no, I can cut it down to a film if you want to. Depends how much you get. You know what I mean? It's know who you're talking to, but also know what you're providing. You are a service provider. They don't owe you the business. They also will not make your career either. You are both collaborators trying to make something that will benefit both parties. So in essence of what a buyer goes to look for, most times buyers walk in with a very, very specific plan and are happy to throw it out the window when they run into an opportunity. So what it is please understand, not only producers have slates. Streamers, networks, whoever, they have their slates they are trying to fill. So 9 times out of 10, day 2, they could be already filled and are looking for things for next year. Sometimes in 2 meetings, they've thrown out their entire strategy. I will end with just one small anecdote. I went to a festival a market that I'd been to before as a producer, but now I was coming a little bit on the buyer side. But we weren't trying to buy projects. We were looking for talent, which most people don't realize is an actual thing. Because you go in there, and when they ask you, how much did you make that for? I had gone before as a producer and heard people. I had sat next to people I knew you shot the film for 50 million. But they asked you how much, so you said 400 because you are trying to cut a big deal, right? But I saw someone go in there and say, oh, yeah, I shot it for 50. And the next 3 hours was, there is no way you made that for 50. It's not possible. Let me see all your paperwork. That guy now shoots exclusively for HBO. You don't know his name. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's absolutely
fine.
Do you understand what I mean? Like, because his skill was being able to do things at a budget range as well. Because he's not a lead producer, he's a director. But he was he didn't go there and try to form producer. No. My point is, you don't know what problem you might be solving for the buyer because they're not buying because you asked. They came with an agenda. You either fit it or you make them rethink their agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a good point. If you don't remember anything else, he started with it and he ended with it. Be authentic. That's how he started and that's how he ended. All this idea behind forming. These people are not fools. When they look screen, they know where their money they enter. And I make them leave this place. The last time we spoke, they say we scatter table. Eh? So I thank you for that contribution. Any?
Sir.
There's a lot. He spoke, but he did not speak. Tell us about your big wins in the markets.
Well, I think I'm just going to go back to the idea of talking about authenticity and truth. So I like to say I'm not an actor, I'm not a writer, I'm not a director. I rep talent, I've done that for many years. I rep products, I connect the dots, and that is my authentic self. I find myself at festivals now introducing people to each other. And I find myself at the place now where people are saying to me, oh my God, I just saw your name on somebody's phone, Rolodex or what contact list or whatever it is. And it's about building network, that I hold the network. I consider myself a keeper of a gate, not the main, not the only gate, but I have to make sure that whoever is coming into this market comes in it in a certain kind of way. So I've been the person that a Doctor Who is shooting an episode centered around Nigeria, and they're calling me because they need to know who to talk to in this market and where to go and blah, 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 blah. That has come from just being out there and perambulating and sort of talking and getting to know people and being myself, which is a connector of dots. From markets, like I said, I'm raising financing for film being shot out in the US, a TV series, another feature with a UK producer, optioning books that we're sort of setting up for deals now, and I got a job at a point that I did for 2.5 years from just sort of being in a place and someone says, can you connect the dots to West Africa for me? And I'm like, yes. And I connected the dots, and that happened for 2+ years, and it was a great experience. So like lots of things have come from being my authentic self, which is I come to every situation with how can I help you? not what can I get from you. And that's what I learned from just myself, my existence.
Okay, we're about to round up that, but I want you to give me an example. He told us about one big deal he made like that.
I have signed NDAs. I'm not at liberty to say I've signed NDAs. I cannot say.
You are not useful to me on this panel.
I'm so sorry.
I
cannot say.
We want to be inspired. Not testimony we want.
Oh, don't be inspired by me because I'm a normal person. I'm just going.
No, it's fine. No, it doesn't have to now. Yes, exactly.
Well, we've optioned the book that a major U.S. writers attached to a major U.S. platform wants to make. And it's just so I cannot say anymore. Can't say anymore.
Okay.
I mean, just one of the things, but many of the other good things is that we're going to get our own content market here, and Choma Day is making that happen. That's the best thing about this.
Okay, so just some takeaways. If you're going to a market, be prepared. Come with everything. Have a business card. If you don't have a business card, make sure you have a QR code of your business, whatever, on your phone with what you do. Be open. Don't talk too much. Be more of a listener. Every time people talk, there are giveaways. In the process, a person may be talking at a panel and you just find out this is what they want. And you may have the answer. You can approach them later. Be more of a listener. And above all, AFCM has come. This is an opportunity. You don't need to buy a ticket to travel abroad. The world is coming here. Little investment to be a part of that market, to get a stand, to get a table, like he has said, or to attend, I promise you, will open a gateway of opportunities to you. Thank you very much for listening to the panel. The Q&A is about to start now, I think. Yeah.
So we'll be taking some questions for the panel. Please, hands up. We need questions. He's on.
Dennis?
Okay, can we patch Mr. Dennis through so that he can join the Q&A session very, very quickly, and let's wrap this up. Okay, I see a gentleman up there in the brown suit. Can one of the ushers please take the mic to him? MC, sorry, technical, please, I need sound here.
Hello?
Such a gentleman. Thank you, Mr. One of Mr. Vic. Yes, please. Okay. Can you tell us your name?
For sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Good afternoon to the panel. Okay, my name is Nimi Izulu, and I'm an adventure painter. So I travel around the world, and I make paintings and drawings of exciting places and the cultures that I visit. Think travel flying colors to this effect.
Would you please stand so that we can all see you?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I started a project called Flying Colors to this effect. Now, in the pre-production stage of this project, we were just thinking YouTube, monetization. And during the production, when I went to Paris for the pilot episode, I started speaking to big minds, and then they started telling me about Netflix and streaming and basically bigger opportunities. Now, afterwards, I started speaking to more people who started telling me about, selling the IP and having co-founders or co-producers, as it were. So my question is targeted to the panel. How will I best distribute and monetize Flying Colors? Because it's a docu-series.
Sanchez laughed, so I think I'm going to let him just take this one.
Hi. I will send my invoice for the free consultancy later.
I will receive it.
Okay. Your question is how best you monetize your docu-series?
And distribute it.
So are you speaking specifically because of the subject matter, or you mean docu-series in general?
I think both.
Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this short. Here's what it is. Remember, you are not trying to sell what you have. You're trying to test the opportunities that you have, right? So your buyers, or whoever you're going to meet, first of all, film markets are exactly for things like this, right? Okay. Is to see what the reach could possibly be. Now, that entirely depends on the angle that you're presenting. Okay. Because you did say something like travel vlogs, right? If I heard you correctly, it's an intersection between fine art and travel vlogging.
Exactly.
It is very rare outside of YouTube, and I understand why you first thought YouTube, why that someone would wake up and say, let me go watch a travel vlog. Actually, they want to see what things are like in a place that they've never been to. Yeah. Right? They're here for the experience. If you can make it experiential and interesting, aka what is the angle? I'm not looking at the material, so I can't quote it specifically, but it's the angle. Why would it entertain anyone sitting at home? Right? Get that angle down. Two, what would it benefit the person that you are selling it to? What are we selling this as? I'll give an example. If you go in and say, these are my experiences in 13 different countries, it's a very different thing from saying, oh, here's a way where you can sit on your couch and visit 13 different countries. They sound the same, but they're not the same. Do you understand what I mean? So the question is, who are you selling this to? Just off the cuff, one of the possible outlets where you could always sell content to is airlines, right? Yeah. So think about this. I'm sitting on a plane going one way, but I'm watching stuff about somewhere else. It benefits me and the airline, right? Because I'm sitting there going, I should book a ticket to this place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So now all of a sudden I'm thinking, and for the airline, please, buy more tickets. You see what I mean? So that's a better symbiosis than, I don't know if you understand what I mean. That would have been crazy during COVID. We're all locked in the house, but I can project and go to all these places. That's nuts. So again, this is just an off-the-cuff thing. I've had 40 seconds to think about it, but it's something along those lines, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
I'd just like to say that Dennis Rowe has joined us. He's also on the screen, so questions directed at him. Mr. Dennis, did you catch his question?
Should I repeat my question, Mr. Dennis?
I caught your question, yeah, absolutely. So I hope you can hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So what I was also stressing was the opportunity of markets to present projects in curated programs. So if you have a project which is suitable for co-production market or for pitching, I think that's usually the best platform to bring your project to the marketplace, because then you have an audience, then it's already curated, so that could be really a good opportunity, and we will also offer this opportunity with the AFCM. So there will be also a co-production or a pitch session, and projects can be submitted for that one very soon.
Thank you, Dennis. You also wanted to weigh in on this?
Yeah, just really quickly, not seeing anything, not knowing anything. I think as you create, please make sure you focus on the storytelling of whatever it is that you're doing, and it's, it's specific. I know you've hit all of the points, but it just cannot be about that, because I think you're hitting points that are very interesting, but make sure that you're taking me on this journey. It's not just a talking head situation where create the story, create the world, and then, like Dennis and Victor have said, the idea of coming out to where there are multiple options for you to see. I'm currently working on a docu. It's been shot already. It's a sports doc, but we have an American producer attached to it now who's worked with a bunch of different projects, like a lot of shows on HBO. But the thing that drew her to it was the story, and we were able to pitch it in like sitting down at coffee, and she's like, you know what, I'll come aboard. And she came aboard in ways that she's never done in other. She waived fees. She's done so many different things and continues to pour herself into it because of the subject matter. So like, make sure that the story is there, the thing that hooks the individual, and know also that people do not make money from documentaries. So also manage your expectations, because it's the honest truth. But have something to show and make sure the story is there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next question. There is a lady with her hand up. Thank you. Please, would you rise and give us your name?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sylvia Iberia, and my question is, what is the long-term market for short films? because, and then it seems funny, first time baby producer here, they did not tell me I carry money to go and shoot short film. Now I don't know what to do with it because I've gone for festivals. Oh, it makes a lot of sense and all of that. And AFRIFF is doing a wonderful job because they are, thank you very much, ma. You look very beautiful. Thank you. All right. So AFRIFF is doing a wonderful job. I have some of my friends who have won grants, and I mean, it's just like a pat on the, it's just as after the whole glamour, oh, well done, we'll now go back to our reality. I'm very confused. Very, very confused. Is there a way we can create a platform, maybe at the end of every month, and just stream or like have a cinema for short films, so that even if it is the money that we used to produce, we will get it back? I'm so sorry. I have a short film, never been released before, just festivals, and now I'm wondering, should I put it on YouTube? No. Sorry, I should say the name. Oh, Flip Side. I use money, it's not plenty money. I begged my friends to help me to shoot the film. It was a collaborative effort, it was wonderful. But I'm wondering, what do I do with it? I'm very, very confused. And most festivals is like, oh, they've showcased it. Well done. Then I'll now go back home. Okay, I've not sold this film. I don't know what to do with this film. I'm very confused, and this is me just putting it out there. Thank you very much.
Hi. Thank you for being as honest and as vulnerable as you have been. So it's only fair that we answer you as open as you have been, right? So here's what we're going to do. Everybody here has something to say, I guarantee you. So I'm going to start. I'm going to toss it to Mr. Victor. We'll toss to Enyi. I think Mr. Pala will close. I'm going to keep this very short. Short films, in my humble opinion, are one of two things. They're either a training test that you did with your crew, or they're a calling card. Nothing more. Right? Now, if your short film is a calling card, then it's a calling card for what? One of the unfortunate things about show business is a lot of us were attracted by the show and didn't learn the business. All right? So here's what it is. It is a calling card, which means, okay, I'm trying not to make this long. The difference, if cinematographers have cameras, and directors have viewfinders and whatever, producers have phones. And for some reason, creatives don't like being called producers. Because producers walk into a room, they ask you, what have you done? And they use the magic 5 words. I have many projects in development. Which we're not sure exactly what the hell that means. But here's what it means. It means when you were making your short, you had a backup right behind it. So when somebody sees your short and says, oh, wow, this looks amazing, you say, thank you, this is the follow-up. How can you come on board? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to pass it to...
Is it a proof of concept? No, you don't have to answer. Just to posit things for you, because like Victor said, it is the step in the right direction. Please do not regret making that. How do you use this asset that is in your hand? It is an asset. How do you use it, right? And where do you go to play with this thing? So coming to an idea of where there are more people saying, this is the proof of work that I've done, this is what I'm able to achieve. If you gave me more, I can expand that into a longer term. I can write, I can create, I have these people who've worked with me. So please do not think badly. And also there are more festivals, because Dennis had talked about them, but in order to move to the next space is how do you stretch that out?
And also let me give you hope as a seller.
Because right now we choke for a berry.
No, you are as a buyer. Okay.
Please, as a seller, I'm not a buyer. There is a short film platform coming to the festival this year. iStreams. I will encourage you and any other person here who have short films or short form content to come to the festival with those contents. Meet with this platform, and maybe you're on your way to selling and recovering your money. Because my sister, I agree with you that I sympathize with you. Because it is not easy for a young person to bring out money, personal money, family money, or something we saved up, working somewhere, and then we want to show what we have up here. So please.
Sorry.
Do we have another question?
No, I've not.
Okay.
Is that a way of saying I should
No, please. I'm just trying to signal, but please, Mr. Victor, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Victor Sanchez, actually, when he finished speaking, I didn't think I should add anything more because he summed it up. Two things, call card, or what was the other thing you called it again? Proof, Training, yes, exactly. So for the call card, he used another word. He asked, what have you done before? Believe me, that thing you have is like when God asked Moses, what do you have in your hands? That short film that you have is it. Because many people don't have it. That's the one thing you need to open doors for you. So don't look down on it and think that you don't have anything. Another thing you could do is either on your own, if you can produce a few more, you have it like a slate of short films, they can be sold together. Okay? There are still DVDs all over the world. And look, the Ojuju series were a collection of short films that broke through, what's his name again? What are their names again? Obasi, Abba Makama, and the third one. Okay, exactly. The three of them, they put it together in one package and called it a series. You can collaborate with other people, put your short films together. About 5 should do, 4, 5, okay? And they can be marketed, either, I'm using DVD as an example right now, but as a series. You know, you can give it any name with a narrative thread that runs across, and it will market like any feature film, okay? But most importantly, look at that thing like the rod of Moses, with which you can do miracles. What you have right now, the doors it will open, you'll be shocked. You have something right now that when you go to pitch anywhere, they say, what have you done before? Nobody has time to watch a feature-length film. Am I correct? Yes. People don't have that time. With a short film, short films also have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They'll be able to see what you've been able to do, how you're able to tell your story, how you were able to shoot. In fact, everything you need to convince any investor is in that thing that you have. That thing is a rod. So begin to look at it differently and begin to speak to it right now. Say, you are my rod of Moses. With you, I will part the Red Sea. With you, I will cause miracles to happen. And it will begin to happen in your life in Jesus' name. Amen?
Okay, I know that I have I have a set of questions from Shock NG Damilare. Please, a round of applause, because this is one of our trade platforms that is doing extremely well. This is our own deadline variety. We have to support the industry at all levels. So, Damilare, can we get your question? Thank you.
I have the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. So he's chanced you. Deyemi Okolawon, would you please rise? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Who's Damilare? Please ask a question.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'll just keep this short and quick to the point. My question is in terms of valuation templates. So you have a project, right? And from apologies, you guys can't see me. Can you guys see me now? Great. So it's a valuation template, right? How do you go on a negotiating table to determine the valuation of your project? And why I'm asking is because it doesn't make sense to make a project with a budget and present that budget as this is what I am valuing my film at. Because again, you're not making any money, right? So my question is, I think I would really love to get everybody's take on it in terms of the experiences of if you are a buyer or a seller, what's your valuation template for a film, a project, a docuseries, or anything that anybody's bringing forward to you? And how do you make sure you are not being cheated at the fair deal? Thank you so much.
I think Dennis should start, and then we can then filter down. Dennis? Did you hear the question?
I heard the question,
okay.
Yes. And you can hear me, correct? Yes. Okay. So what I wanted to mention here is also that the market is a springboard also to start negotiations. Yeah, you have a first meeting here with a potential buyer, with a potential client, and you present your project, and it's usually just a starting point for a longer ongoing conversation. That's why I also stressed in my presentation that it's very important to do after the market the follow-up work. And nowadays, with all the online meeting opportunities, it became much easier to follow up, to do online meetings afterwards, and then on a long run to convince also a partner to come on board to invest into your project, into your product which you are presenting there. So that's something what I wanted to say on this question. And I didn't have the chance to go into the short film question. I just wanted to mention there as well that short formats become more and more popular and become also more and more profit-making, especially short film series became more popular because the users are, or the audience is watching much more on cell phones. There are even big companies like TikTok commissioning short formats. So I think there is a new form of profitable short filmmaking out there.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Choma, okay.
Well, if I can. So it depends on what phase you are with the project, right? So when you come into a market, most times you're coming in at development. Maybe sometimes you have projects that you're pitching, you just have the idea. And at that point, you're actually financing the budget of the film and not necessarily the sales value because you haven't done anything yet. So if you come into the market with a work in progress, same thing. So the first thing, I guess, is what is do you know how to budget properly? Because a budget should cover the cost, including the cost of your fees, including your overhead for your company. That should be included in the budget. So you have your expense sheet where, where I think most times when we think about budget, we think about how much cash we use to shoot the film. But that's really different to like, what is the actual total budget of the film? And so when in the co-production markets, because a lot of this is mainly for independent films though. So commercial films are funded, they're bought in different ways. They can have a times 10 valuation because they're A-list cast and everything. So that's a different process. So that's where you're talking about like full profitability, and that's who's really making millions of dollars. In the independent film space, it's really about financing the making of the film. So it's about countries who have maybe funds, who can bring in if they have 50% of the film, can they raise $500,000 from their country? What broadcasters will bring money? So they're actually financing the making of the film, right? So if you're coming in at that point, then you're not looking at okay, I'm going to make the film for 100K and sell it for 2 million. No, that's not what happens. You're saying that the full, like I've put in everything, I've assessed the full budget, and then the budget is maybe, let's say 1 million. And who can bring in 10%? Who can bring in, how can I shoot this in, would it be easier to shoot this in Colombia because you have like post-production facilities? What incentive can I use here? So it's really like a coming of minds to collaborate to get the project made in the first place, right? So that's more the mindsets in the markets, especially when you haven't made anything yet, right? So they're all investing, so think of them as investors in the making of the film and not like profit makers who are looking to make 10x. Because at the end of that process, so what happens when they're attached to festivals is that the films that are now showing at festivals are now able to, they are now talking about the budget, but they have people called sales agents who are out now going in to say, okay, this is the final film, it was in this festival, or this is it, like the film is done. So that's when you're now looking at like evaluation where you're looking to make more money. But most times when you're going into a market, you're thinking there's a document called the finance plan. So that's really your strategy to financing the film. And that could come from co-producers, that could come from funds and grants, that could come from private investors. So it's really that, it's really like this is the actual budget of the film. I need to make this film. And as a producer, you have salary, which could be 5% of the budget. Your overhead could be another 7% of the budget. So everyone is factored in, and even country funds, their producers are factored in. So everyone is making money on the budget of the film. So it's a different, it's not all, a lot of the films that are making times 10 or those kind, they're the outliers. They're not like, that's not how the business is done. The business is done by actually like, this is the project and we're all buying in now as early investors. We've seen something this made and you get paid off of that budget.
Okay, sorry, let me just chip this in very quickly. If I understand you, I think when we finish, DME will ask his question. But if I understand you, you're talking about valuation for a finished project. Am I correct? Huh? Okay, so there's one secret, well, not a secret, one thing we should leave this place with today, which is that money will always follow eyeballs. Correct? Money always follows eyeballs. And when we say eyeballs, those eyeballs are not necessarily on, they are not even necessarily on the best projects. Do you understand? Or the most expensive projects. Why do some of our producers finish making a film and then they go dancing? What has dancing got to do with movies? Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying? They're trying to attract eyeballs. Is that correct? Eh? So most times we concentrate, we do everything we do, but our P&A budget is, we don't even think, sometimes it's even non-existent. You think the substance, the main film is the main thing. The film that, I can't remember the name, that won the Oscars last year, was made for about $6 million, am I correct? Eh? Yes. And they went on to do, it was from the hype around it. Like I talked about wearing red, you go to a festival, you go somewhere, the amount of attention you draw. Some people go out of their way to cut controversy. When a lot of eyeballs come, demand then outstrips supply. Many people want what you have. Then you are in a position to make a deal because there will be many buyers who are interested in your product. I don't know if I'm making sense. And when they come, you can begin to pitch. Another quick thing to think about is, who is the person taking you into the room? Eh? That's where collaboration comes in. When you walk alone, if you chop alone, you do what? Sometimes you need someone big to take you in. Even if you have to get only 1%, that 1% you get will be bigger than the 100% of what you're looking for. There are very good negotiators. People who, when they market your film, can get top dollars for it because of who they are. Who are the distributors? Who are the people you're talking to? Who are those who are, speaking on your behalf? If your job is to do films, do your film, hands off, and let those who are professionals handle the rest of it. They understand valuation. But from the film point of view, filmmaker's point of view, if you don't know the business side, just concentrate on show. But make sure that you hand over to those who understand the business side and they can take care of valuation. It's like you build a house, like you build a house, you talk about estate valuers. Is that not so? You think your house is worth 10 million and then they tell you actually the value is 30 million and then they sell the house for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to have DME Okolan with the question.
Really,
I'm sorry,
really,
please.
Really
I'm so sorry.
From a valuation standpoint, I as a filmmaker can have a different valuation for what that project is, but I'm in a buyer's market, right? And the market is what's going to dictate that, right? And when I'm going out to in a sales situation where there's a finished product, a sales agent in a more established sort of different world would build that valuation based on maybe the package, based on the markets the film can sell into, all of the other bits and bobs. So it's not necessarily me deciding that my film is now 1 million just because I feel like it is, and that becomes a real value. There's so many other things that go into it. And I think also the availability of information around the things that are made in our markets and what they ultimately sell for will then sort of build what is a proof of concept case for the kinds of things that come from this market. So it's not from, I think the idea of valuation is important, what is the value of my project, but it's not only me that's left to determine that.
Thank you. Any others? Okay.
DME. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is DME Okolan. I am a dancer. Wait until I'm promoting a film. You realize how much of a dancer I am.
Yeah.
God help us. So first of all, thank you to AFRIFF. Thank you, Choma. This is wonderful. Everyone on stage I have a relationship with, but I'm just finding out that our relationship hasn't really covered hasn't gone beyond, the perspective of an actor, and his friend. I've learned so much just sitting here and listening. Half of my question has really been answered, by the way. And Shoma, you said some very significant things here today. The last 12 years been acting, all I focused on was to try to be an exceptional actor. And, I hope that has worked. My next move really is to try and see if I can be more involved in producing the type of stories that I really want to see being told. But I have almost zero experience in that side of the business. I've luckily produced one film that made some money, thank God. I danced a lot, and it worked. So please don't knock the dancing, please.
No,
Thank you.
no.
No. I'm just joking. Sir. You gave me my first award in this industry, the Short Film Festival. I took that short film and I went to AFRIFF with it and introduced myself to all the producers and all the directors, and that's how my career started. So thank you very much, sir. I would like to come to AFCM as an actor-producer. I would like to know the best way to present myself when I get there. I have some ideas. I do not know whether these ideas will work. I do not know whether it's best to come with the commercial films that would work with our Nigerian cinemas or maybe even the streamers, or do I go the direction of the film festival type stories? I don't know much more than being an actor. So my question to the panel would be, if you were to advise someone like me, someone who some of you would, Victor.
There are three
Victor, Victor Opala is the one that I'm referring to right now. You are we have a contract that says we have a film that we need to do together. But I'm saying, how would you advise someone like me to attend an AFCM come November? What do you think we should be presenting as? Do I need to get a table and sit down there and look handsome and just say, hey, I'm an actor, come and collaborate with me? I'm looking for advice, and I'm also looking for partners, collaborators who are out there looking for someone who can add value to their projects. Thank you very much.
You should throw a party.
Why not? True.
Throw one.
Host a party.
Host one. And then everyone will come to you.
Done.
At the risk of sounding incredibly droll, especially for someone who doesn't go to parties, that's the best piece of advice I've heard so far. I'll tell you why.
True.
But here's the other half of it. Because I don't do socials, I don't do parties, right? But let me explain why. I send people to parties. Throw a party. When you say someone like you, I mean someone who has some social capital.
Yeah.
Throw a party, people are going to come just because they want to hang with you and they hope some of your famous friends will be there. At the said party, don't sell anything. Your job is to listen to the problems in the room. If you are serving alcohol, don't drink anything. Stay stone sober. Listen to everybody's problems. Start making a plan from that night. Start calling people within 48 hours with solutions. But first call the people who you collaborate with to solve those problems. In about 72 hours, you know where the first deal might come from.
I have a soundtrack for Sanchez. Dun, dun, da, 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 dun, da, da, da. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Next question, please. There were some hands earlier. Where are they? Yes, the lady in blue, and there's a guy. We're going to take 4 more questions, and then we have to close this session. I mean 4 because this is why we're here, to answer the questions before the big bang. So, yes. Could we get that very quickly? Could we get the mic passed to her, the lady in blue? So very quickly, your name and question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ambassador Dr. Queen Blessing Ebigeseng, the National President of AMP. So I'm asking this question on behalf of my members, because since Choma reached out to me about the film market, I've been telling my members about it. And the bulk of the question is, how do we know who are coming to this market? So we all know that it's very difficult for producers to bring out money to pay for anything. So how do I convince them that so and so people are coming to this market, go and register? Is it at the point of registration they will find out the people coming to this market, or is there going to be like an information out there? I just need to know how to get them to attend, because I really want my members to attend and make these deals, because we have a lot of people who have made movies. The movies are just there. You know, they don't know how to sell it. Some of them don't even know how to pitch. I just feel like Choma Ude doing this is a big deal, and I'm just so excited about it, and I want as much as possible, if not all my members, but a bulk of them to attend. Thanks.
Okay, I guess I'll be the one answering your question. Come October 2nd, we would normally have the announcements, the film that is going to be the opening film, the closing film, the this, that. We would also be announcing all the parties coming on to the market. And when I say parties, I mean like the YouTube, the executives, the this, the TikTok, whoever. But next week after now, because we have country participation, and so what's happening is, I was just showing Bobby an email that came in for another country, St. Lucia. Every 2 days I get, oh, this is this country, we want to come in and this is what we want to do. So gradually we'll have that on the website. And so you have, I'm going to give an example, 2 examples. Japan. Japan is flying in with X amount of people, and they've stated, this person is a producer, this person owns a streaming company, this person is, so we'd get that, we're getting all the profiles together, we'll put that on the website, and then you would go and say, okay, I want to talk to this person, I want to buy this, I want to, and then Germany is coming in with 11 people, they send their profiles. France is doing the same thing. It's on and on and on and on. So you'd have the countries coming in with select professionals and companies, and then you're going to have the corporate companies that are also streamers or whatever come on board. And so the announcements will be in waves, but I assure you, because of the festival and the years of practicing and producing something this good, we have so many people that are eager to be part of the market. And also the cultural, Nigeria is currently the cultural capital for Africa. Everybody wants to be part of what we're doing. Thank you.
And also, there will be a presentation before the end of this program for the floor plan and the booths that we have. Let me also advise that AMP can decide to get a booth for AMP members. They should get a booth, pay for a booth, and then the members can come with whatever materials they have or questions, and then have their own booth, so that people from all these countries and companies can walk into the booth and say, okay, what's going on here? Or let them register and attend the parties too, like everybody is saying. And then mix up with people. So AMP should register and then get a booth. There'll be a presentation about the booth before the end of the Please Don't Go. Thank you.
Next question, okay.
That lady
Where's
there?
the lady? Yeah. This lady right
CDG,
here, in Ankara.
stand up and receive the microphone.
Good afternoon, everybody. Choma, thank you so much for bringing this down to us in Nigeria. We really appreciate, because a lot of people have been, you know, tasty and hungry for such festival like this. My question is so easy because of the constituency where I belong. I want to ask, we're talking about booths, we're talking about meeting with people and all that. How can the costume, makeup, production designer, how can we come and get a booth for during this festival and be, you know, included in whatever that will be done on that day?
Dennis? Did you hear her question?
I heard the question, yeah. So the question was how to be included. So of course, there's the option to rent exhibition space. That's always an option, and there will be a presentation right after that Q&A session, I guess. And of course, there will be the registration open for all professionals in the next days or weeks, yeah. So there is an opportunity to be part of this environment for sure.
Thank you.
I wanted to just quickly ask, did you tell us your name?
Yes, she didn't, yes.
You didn't tell us your name.
Introduce yourself, I was going to say.
And perhaps what organization you represent.
Okay, my name is Joy Osawaru Akiyemi. I'm the National President of the Creative Designers Guild of Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I think we'll talk. I will get your contact before you leave, and Mr. Julian will be doing a very quick presentation right after this panel on the booth information. Everyone is welcome to take a booth. I'm sorry, Amy? Yes. And it will be interesting to see what we can do together, even at the festival, because last year we had, for the first time, we included fashion and that conversation as one of the panels. So you're an integral part of the ecosystem of filmmaking, and we have to treat it as such. So thank you so much for your question. There's a gentleman with a jacket over there, there's a lady over here, and that will be the final two. Oh, I'm so sorry, yeah. I didn't see that. So who's next? Where's the mic? Could you please pass the mic to him? Very quickly, please, because now we're over time, and we still need to do the marketing.
Sorry. My name is Charles Novia. I'm not really asking the question. I'm just giving a little bit of advice, because dovetailing on what Ambassador Queen said. If you are a producer, please don't come to the AFCM and start begging and you don't have money. Please, it's an advice. And if you don't know what to do, latch on to people that really would know what to do. It's not be poor man thing now. You know, let's give ourselves some bit of dignity. All right, we're not, you know, producers are the business people. We walk the walk and talk the talk. So when you go in for these kind of things, package yourself. You know, package yourself very well, but don't go to put yourself, shortchange yourself in such a way that you would, in shortchanging yourself, shortchange the whole industry too. That's just my advice, so that we'll get that very clear. Thank you.
Question, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dele Maku. I'm an actor. And first of all, I would like to say a big thank you to the panel, a very distinguished panel. I've learned a lot today from all each of you have said.
A round of applause for our panel, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because, you know, the point, the answer, you know, the points you made, the questions you asked, I found it really touching and really, you know, inspiring, because for someone like me, you come into an event like this or any other event, not unlike this, and you see all these people with, you know, their sparkling credentials and they are everywhere doing everything, so many eggs in different baskets, and you're looking at yourself like, you have just one egg. You're looking for who will borrow a basket, you know. So, but my question today is really about collaboration. And as we all know, in Nigeria, we have Nollywood, the Ghanaians have their own, the Kenyans, the South Africans have their own, and everyone is sort of pushing their thing. So, quickly, for the whole panel, how close are we to breaking through these language barriers and really leveraging on the cultural diversity we have within Africa to come up with and establish, you know, an African movie collective that we can present to a global audience? Thank you.
Who's going to take that?
2 days ago, there was a film that premiered at Venice. It had a Nigerian producer, a Kenyan director. It's called One Woman, One Bra. So we're already there. But it takes collaboration. So when you put yourself in spaces where there are other filmmakers and you have something to give and not just to take, then you're open to to this kind of Pan-African collaborations. And AFRIFF has also been championing that, from trainings, there are people who come from outside Nigeria as well. So you just have to, you know, meet people and work on projects together. And I think it's always great because you see that with film teams as well, like when you're making short films together, you're networking across. So you need to start working with, like, not just looking for people, your colleagues and the people you come up with, and it's a global village now, like for film. So it's definitely, it's already here. I'll say that we're there. It just takes you and everyone else to participate. But yeah.
And it is more than playing your cards right. It is more than just Africa. There's a whole black diaspora in South America, and Brazilians are coming here, and Argentina, like just different places that you can think about that we can begin to reach, where culture now becomes the language, I think, where people are not just going to learn English or Portuguese, but they understand culture, the verticals of it, especially young adult culture now, to me, is the universal language. Is how are you telling them stories across music, dance, fashion, food, and I think all of that now the subtitle is not getting in the way. So I think it's how are you open, and a film market like this where you're getting people from across the globe come here, you're going to see that crystallize, but it is already happening. I mean, Nigeria announced a co-production possibility with Brazil, and that is in talks now. So different things are going on.
Okay, so Sanchez didn't want to start. I think that if there's anything to learn from what is happening locally now, I mean globally now, is what you call globalization, or in the film sector you talk about hyper-local. Am I correct? I go back to what Sanchez said, authenticity you can never beat. We have been watching Indian films without subtitles, I mean from way back, and we enjoyed it. I can tell you that a lot of people who dance to Burna Boy's music don't know half of what he's saying. But there is something that connects them all together. If you tell an authentic story and you tell it well, it will resonate. It doesn't matter what your language is. Korean films, how many of us speak Korean here? But many of our Gen Zs now, I know so many who learn to speak Korean just by watching Korean movies. Am I correct? If you go to Kano, there are many people who speak the Indian language. I don't know which of their languages now, but just by watching Indian films. Focus on doing a good job. Our Pidgin English was nothing before. Even we were ashamed of Pidgin English. But it's now a language recognized by BBC officially, and the Oscars now is recognized as an official language for the Oscars. Okay? And it comes from being authentic and true to what you do. I'll say to you, focus on telling a good story. It doesn't matter what the language is, it will travel far.
Sorry, if I can just add one last thing. There's a little piece. If I heard you correctly, you said, how close are we to African Filmmaking Collective? Am I correct? Yes. It starts when you decide to start it. Sorry, it's just going back to what Charles said. There's this little thing when we keep waiting for somebody else to do it, like we're expecting somebody to descend from the rafters with wings. It happens when you do it. Because the odd fact is, things like this are great, film markets, film festivals, because of where we are, we all tend to live in a little bit of a bubble. Because when you're just starting, you are everything until you start meeting other people and collaborating, right? I don't think there's anybody on this panel who hasn't done business with somebody in another country in the last maybe 7 days. And in the age of the internet, it's a little weird to hear the same questions I was hearing when we were cutting on Victorinex and Betacam. Literally, we are one click away from a filmmaker anywhere. Now, as someone who has, on a daily basis, I'm dealing with about 5-6 different countries and understanding that our cultures are completely different. Here's the bizarre thing. It all comes down to the project you are trying to make, right? It's the project, it's going to start with, now I'm talking to you specifically, not we. It's the project you are trying to make and why you need other African countries in it. Is it a sales move? Is it a collaboration thing? Is it a diversity thing? But if you take nothing from anything I said, it's simply this. It starts when you start it. Then you connect yours with someone else. So you come to a market and find, oh, you're doing something similar? I have the sound department, or I'm an actor. I know actors, but we don't know anybody in sound anywhere. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, we've been looking for a project. We are sound mixers, we are together, but we don't have any projects. You see what I mean? But it starts when you do. We don't, I mean, we're Nigerians. Nollywood started. We know how Nollywood started. We don't wait. We know they carry last. We go, then they follow. All right, I'm out.
I would just like to say one word. Nehi.
We all know what it means.
Nehi. Okay, I think this brings us to the end of our session. Another reason why we're doing this is there are also a lot of key people in the room. Other than the people who have been on the panels, we have distinguished people in the audience. We have Colette Otusheso. We have Ozzy Agu. We have Sam of Trace TV. There's Bovie here. There's so many people in the room. Impressive filmmakers with great credentials. So please, network. Don't be afraid to step up and ask questions. Don't be afraid to get shut down. Don't be afraid to hear a no. Sometimes a no is just a maybe. Sometimes a no is a not yet. Don't feel shut down. Don't feel special. Don't feel like it's about you. It may not just be the right moment, but take a shot anyways. So I'm going to quickly introduce Mr. Julian Nwagboniwe, who is Technical and Operations Director for AFRIFF, as well as the AFCM. No, he can come while you guys exit off the stage quickly. Oh, please, no. That's why I said just hold on. I want Mr. Julian to be coming. Then I cannot tell them to be going. So please, we have to utilize the time. We will do photos. My panelists, thank you so much. The greatest panel ever with the most victors ever. Thank you. So we'll just have pictures very quickly with the panel, and then Chioma will come and join them as well. I will also ask the DG to come up and join them. Bovie, please also come join them. Okay, you'll sit this one out. That's fine. No problem. Thank you so much. A round of applause for them as they exit the stage. And over to Mr. Julian, who will talk us very, very quickly through the booth sales and exhibition opportunities, after which we'll have the closing remarks from our festival director, and then it's adios. So again, a round of applause for Mr. Julian.
Thank you, everyone. This is awfully strange. Usually I would be running around in black, bending my head, and doing things from behind. So please, pardon me, this is new to me. There were a lot of things that I'd wanted to put in this presentation that, if you had noticed, I'd walked to and out of the room, just taking things out because it apparently wasn't as necessary. Let's begin here. Welcome again. Everyone has so beautifully said about what we want to do here. Our dates are Monday to Thursday. We want to have this market from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what we intend to do. Right. The venue for the market would be at Twin Water, Lagos, and the Maradiva Hall. That's the address. Like I said, I'm going to run through this, and I'm hoping that if there's any questions, we would speak offline and we'll be able to get that info across to you. That's the Maradiva, and before that, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, so that's Twin Water, just in case you didn't know what it looked like. And, oh, wow. Forgive. Yeah. This is the crux of it. This is our floor plan for the expo. And as you can see, we have quite a lot of booths. I know some people would want to know what exactly we have here. That's the entrance into the space. There's a dedicated lift from the floor, from the ground floor. We come in through there. Registration accreditation is had over here. There's a walk-through, and we meet the market. This space in blue is our premium space. It's a 6x6, that's 36 square meters, and it's on offer for the country in focus, or whoever is going to be our biggest focus. We've got over here an office and a medical bay. We've got these portions where we call islands. They're a little bigger than what we have on offer over here. That's a 3x5, 3x3, and oh, sure, just a moment, I can barely see this. Yes, and 4x2, right? So. 4x2. Yes. So there's these are the booths, and we'll take this in. It's just sorry. Go back here. No, I'm not good. Okay. Good. Space only. We've got these spaces on offer for those who want to be at the exhibition. 2x3s, 3x6, 3x9, and 2x12. You can come in, do your own thing, create what kind of experience you want to have. We'll give you that space, and if you want for us to design your experience center, we can do that as well. This is another dimension of spaces. These are 3x3s. We've got them as standard, double, and triple. There was a lady who had asked about space. Yes. So if you want to have one for your organization, you can have them in multiples. This is that premium space I talked about, 6x6, and it's a standalone. All of these spaces come with all access badges. Once you get a booth, you'll be able to move everywhere during the course of the market. You'll also be put in the brochure, and we'll give you support through listings and also event marketing. We're offering a shell scheme as well, and this is what it probably would look like. Would not have this, would be your branding, but it's an immersive experience if you know what you want to do. We're giving this as on offer as well. No, no, it isn't. So I'll go through this. Same spaces, we can have this scheme on the 2x3s and also for all of these other sizes. Yeah. Now, this comes with all of these things listed here and a couple of more that you can choose to get as well. During the course of the market, you have films to showcase, you've got content to showcase, we've got screens available where you can have this done. We've got the premium, medium, and the standard screen with those seating available for you. You pick a slot, you pay for a slot, and we'll put you in a schedule. That's what it looks like. And this is the end. These are those who you can come to, get information about this, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Julian. I would like to say a big thank you also to our consultant, Dennis Rue, for that incredible presentation, for being available for the panel. I would also like to thank Mr. Shea Babatokpe. You know why. Thank you. Yes, it's between us, kind of. But also thank you for being here. Justice Atigogo, so many people to say thank you to. Oh yes, Mr. Yibo Koko. Hi, how are you? Thank you. And at this juncture, I would like to, hi Justice. I take back my thanks, you were outside. Madam Chioma, for the final remarks. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're about to start a revolution, a good one. The thought of a market came up. It's been coming up like every year for the past 3 years, but each year I didn't think it was the right time. And this year, right after the Netflix exited, the Amazons, I said, how would the average producer who doesn't go to film markets, how would they survive? And so the birth of the film market came to me. Because in going to different film markets, I understand regional sales, which a lot of people don't. All they knew was, let's go to Amazon to buy it or Netflix to buy it. But there's something called regional sales, where you identify the different markets. The markets have been identified by the people there. So you would have Brazil, who has 18 million Nigerians. The 18 million Nigerians in Brazil. So they understand how big that market is. And so they've been coming to the festival. They're the first country to sign a co-production deal of that magnitude, with Nigeria, because they know what unlocking this market would look, to them, how much they'll make and the benefits of it. So I now said to myself, how about bringing other markets? The Caribbean, they have a huge following for Nollywood and African films. So you have your film, you come to the film market, you're at the Brazil's stand, and you're talking about what you have to offer. Most likely, if you're good enough, if you've packaged yourself well enough, you would end up selling, co-producing, or whatever it is with the Brazilians, because that's what they are looking for. I'll tell you about the different countries that are looking to work with us, produce with us, and market there. So it's not just about film, it's about equipment too. There are so many advertising agencies that have clients that want to be in films. So you have your scripts, They are sitting down in the audience during your pitch and saying, okay, this script would go with our products. So we're going to fund this film. Maybe you've raised 10% and they want to fund it for 90% or whatever. Before you'd have placements in film. We've gone past that. Now they want to be written into the script. So they want to catch you early. So there's that aspect of the market. Hold on. I wrote a lot. Hold on. Let me go. Yes. Okay. So now, countries that are attending have their different reasons for attending. They have their, in their heads, they know what they want from you. But because this is the first market, and a lot of us have not attended markets, we don't know what they want. So the tendency is for us to miss the mark. So my advice would be to listen a lot and ask questions that would produce answers from them. So if you're asked the question of how much did you make your film with? I know on the panel, Victor said that they had asked somebody and he said 400 million versus 50 million. Now I also know a big distributor in Nigeria who was asked a question about how much films can be made with, and he says 50 million. That was the end of the conversation. To us, we were less than a content creator. So some people are looking for the big filmmakers, while some people are looking for good filmmakers that can make so much better. There's a company coming, they make vertical films. I don't know how many of you are conversant with these new vertical films that are causing wave around the world. But they're not here yet. And it speaks to the lady who made a short film. Vertical films are actually really, really short. But they are like vertical series, but they call them vertical films too. They're very engaging. And we have such wonderful stories in Nigeria that would really captivate that audience. And they know. So it's funny that I've had two companies abroad call me to say, would like to be part of the market because we want to get the Nigerian script, the African script, they don't say Nigerian, the African scripts from your country. But, vertical films are made with very little money. So I'm like, well, how much do you make your films with? And they said just $500,000. So imagine now, you're a content creator. Remember, it's AFCM, so film and content. And they say to you, oh, how much are you going to make this content with? And you say, oh, 5 million naira. You've lost, they can't imagine something that's low because they don't do that. So for me, I would like for us to keep certain things to ourselves, listen more, ask a lot of questions, and don't give out too many low numbers. Don't do that. Also, don't sell yourself too short. We're always very eager to sell ourselves, and in doing that, we come off desperate. You don't want to do that. The market is really a different ball, it's a different game to what we've been doing, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to the global stage of film sales, film distribution, pitching, and every other thing as part of this. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hassan, let me do my work. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the AFCM info session. Thank you guys all so much. A round of applause for yourselves and for the time put in here today. Please feel free to network, meet people, make contact, ask questions, and we will see you all in November. By God's grace. Thank you again. My name is Latasha Ngube, signing out. And thank you. Wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Film and content market. A global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors. Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers, and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14. Looking for where and how to pitch your story to investors? Welcome to the AFRIFF Film and Content Market, a global hub for filmmakers, storytellers and investors. Get ready this November at AFRIFF 14.